Hi everyone, Shani from the Wellness Chambers here in Perth, Western Australia, and I'm here to talk to you about the sacred ancestral clearing and DNA healing that I created in September last year. So you may have seen the original video that I posted about it when it first came through, and the intention of this process is to clear the lineage. So we're not just working on you as a client, we bring in the spirit of all your ancestors and we bring in the higher self aspects of all your family members, and we are clearing so much junk from everyone. And the first couple of people I trialed it on, pretty much everyone that I've worked on, but the first two people I trialed it on got such ridiculously amazing results. You may have seen that video where the mother, who was the first one, her daughter was lost in the mess scene for over a year, completely estranged, lost her children and everything. That 2 days later, she rings up going, I love you, I miss you, I'm sorry. Another day later, after her mum going through this process, she rings up and she's like, I want to get clean. Come help me, come save me. And this has healed their relationship. This woman is getting clean. She's it's tough, but she's getting there, And then the second person I trialed it on was like my best friend. And she was quite estranged from her mother as well, because her mum was a chronic alcoholic and really quite nasty and bitter, and they just did not have a loving relationship. They'd never had a loving relationship. And the next day after doing this process on my girlfriend, the mother sends these beautiful, beautiful messages full of love, saying that she loves her and she's proud of her. And there was about 10 different things in that message that we were just like, whoa, this is insane. To carry that one on, the mother ended up actually, she quit drinking. She used to be a 9 a.m. Scotch drinker for over 30 years. She doesn't drink scotch, doesn't drink in the morning. She has a couple of glasses of wine here and there with dinner, but she's not an alcoholic anymore. She quit smoking. These two now have a beautiful, loving and supportive relationship. This mother didn't go get any therapy. In fact, she doesn't even know that this was done. But as soon as this process was done on my client, bang, the mother changed. So it is literally clearing your whole lineage. So I don't guarantee results for family members, because at the end of the day, it is free will. Like, we can remove a pattern, we can remove a habit, we can remove the energy that's stuck and keeping them stuck, but it comes down to free will and personal choice as to whether they want to change or not. So I just wanted to give you an update on those two cases, that they are just flying along. It wasn't just a one-off thing and they relapsed. They're actually doing really, really well. So I've trained 50 practitioners since then in the last few months, and the results are just absolutely mind-blowing. The process has evolved so much. It used to be like about a 20 or a 30-minute procedure. Now the procedure goes for over an hour. It takes me a couple of hours to actually take someone through the whole lot, with the pre-framing and the setting the intention of what it is that you want to clear, then the process, and then, checking in on everything to make sure it's all gone, and it's all gone. So I'm going to tell you how it works a little bit. Like, I'm going to have to kind of water it down a little bit, because this process is just so involved. There's actually quite a few stages to it, but I'm going to kind of just break it down into two main bits. The energy work for the lineage and the unconscious work for the client. So basically what we do is we talk you down into a nice, relaxed, meditative trance. And I'm walking you through an energetic healing, all of which is happening for you. So we call in all the spirits of your ancestors and the higher self aspects of your family members. So energetically, you can't work on people without their permission, but you can ask the higher self aspect of a person, it's like the soul level, can we do some work here? And quite often the higher self will say yes, especially when you're family, because and especially with all the ancestors there, it's kind of like peer pressure. So we literally bring in the energy of everybody, and I do a massive removal of all old pains, traumas, negative emotions, limiting beliefs, negative energies, entities, implants, cords, Klingons, chaos energy, walk-ins, shove-ins, spells, curses, hexes. The lot is getting removed from your entire lineage. Now, this is an incredibly powerful removal process, and it's so powerful because of the way that it's delicately written. Do not try this at home. It is very, very precisely and delicately written to be able to make such a heavy energy be released so easily. So I do train only experienced and highly qualified practitioners because it is huge, and they are all saying the same thing, that this is the easiest removal they've ever done. And one of my practitioners actually ended up doing an exorcism with this part of the process. She's messaged me and she's like, oh my God, I was doing the removal and the woman starts like cursing in all this ancient language, and it ended up being an exorcism, and I'm pretty sure I did it all right, and I feel really good and I feel really strong and I felt safe and supported, but can you just check in on it and make sure everything's okay? And I tuned in. I was like, holy fuck, that really was an exorcism. Even I would never have done an exorcism on its own, and I've been doing entity removals for over 15 years. So I was like, wow, and she was fine. It was all done perfectly through this removal process. So I was like, wow, it really is next level for when it comes to energy removal. So once we've removed all that crappy old stuff, we then heal the family and the lineage and the bloodline by bringing in some beautiful healing energies, because we've just taken so much stuff out that we need to fill them back up so they're nice in a nice light balanced state. So that's the first stage of the process, and that's for the whole lineage. And then the next part of the process is just for you as the client. So we then travel you back to conception, back to the time when you were choosing your DNA. So using a concept of timeline therapy, but I've changed it. It's not actually timeline. I've just kind of redesigned it to make it more beautiful and more easier for a client to go through. We take you back to conception, and because you're in such a beautiful trance state, because we have just completely removed all that old energy, I ask you at DNA, at conception, when you're choosing your DNA, what would you like to install? And you actually go into a really beautiful, unconscious talking trance. So we start installing all the new positive emotions, behaviors, belief systems, new habits and patterns that you would like to have in your life. And it's different for everyone. Some people just get so much information comes through from the unconscious mind. Some people get some very simple stuff. Some people have got absolutely no recollection of what they've said at all. I write it all down for them. But we literally go and unpack all your problems. We literally go and resolve all your big issues. So I had one client who, for example, she couldn't go to the supermarket or the gym because she had severe anxiety and couldn't be by herself. So when we were at conception and I'm asking her what she wants to install, and she said relaxation. I ran with it because I'm really well trained in working in the unconscious mind. So I said to her, I was like, good, well done, unconscious mind. Now, where do you feel relaxed? And she's in a beautiful trance and she's like, the beach. And I'm like, good. Where else? The park. Good. Well done, unconscious mind. Where else? Next thing, it was like with her boyfriend, with her dog, in the car, at work. I'm like, come on. And then I said, now that you've released all those limitations, where else can you feel relaxed now, unconscious mind? She goes, at the gym. I said, yes, well done, unconscious mind. How do you feel when you're at the gym now? And she's like, I feel relaxed. I said, good, where else? The supermarket. How do you feel when you're at the supermarket? She's like, I feel relaxed. Get a message a couple of weeks later going, I love going to the supermarket. I dance around to the music when I'm there. I always forget something, but I really like it now. Because the thing is that all your answers, all your solutions are actually in the unconscious mind. You just need to have a very skilled therapist to be able to get you in there. So we go into a couple of places. We go back to the conception and we go and reinstall everything. So we're then like filling you up with what it is that you actually want, and the unconscious mind, like I'm prompting you with specific questions, asking you what it is that you'd like to install. And then after that, we travel up into the place of the higher self, where the higher self resides, the place that is all knowing, your deepest connection to spirit and to your inner wisdom. And then I ask you, what is it that you've learned here? What is it your higher self wants you to know? And all these beautiful epiphanies come through, and you literally just unpack all your problems. You know, if I know that you've got problems with love, for example, I'll start unpacking that for you by asking specific questions and installing new beliefs. But it's me asking the right questions, and you're in an unconscious trance giving me the solutions as I write them down. So normal basic hypnotherapy is a hypnotherapist putting in suggestions. This way of working, which I got this idea from the amazing Emma Romano, who channeled it through herself with a different process. We ask the unconscious mind, what does it need to resolve its problem? What is there to learn to be able to release the old problem? And you literally have all the answers. And it's so beautiful, and it is so phenomenally life-changing, deep and profound. And we write it all down, and sometimes I have like pages and pages and pages of stuff, and I give the pages to the client at the end. They're like, I said all that. I don't remember saying that. It's really cool. But then I go and reinstall it hypnotically. Like, I read it all back to them because they're highly suggestible. They're in an unconscious trance. So this process is just phenomenal. I am just getting the most amazing transformations occurring. My practitioners are loving it, absolutely loving it. It is so big, but it's so gentle, and it's so perfectly written. Like, every single little word is in there for a specific reason. So you really can't try this at home unless you've been taught properly. So for example, you know, and this is why we need to do this, is because science has actually proven that we hold up to 7 generations of pains, traumas, experiences in our DNA. That's just what science has proven. So one of my big healings actually went back 23 generations. So science, experience, who knows, somewhere in there. So we're actually carrying all that stuff. You know, we're carrying all the traumas and the pains and the limiting beliefs of our ancestors. We're also carrying a lot of their gifts and their love and their joy, but you know, there's only so much room in your cells and in your memory for so much stuff. And I'll tell you why kids are coming through so sensitive and having so much anxiety and all the rest, is because the kids that are coming through now are coming through ready for the new age of peace. The earth is evolving. It is vibrationally raising up. So the souls that are coming through are ready for that raise of vibration. However, they're still carrying all the old heaviness that's not going to be here in a few generations' time. So they're struggling. They are way more, like, we all carry the same amount of crap, but they are so much more sensitive to it now. So we desperately need to clear our DNA so that these kids aren't struggling. Like, I'm getting such profound and amazing results by taking a parent through it, and they're saying, look, my kids are so much calmer, they're just so much more relaxed, they're just chill, you know, like it's huge. It's really making a difference, like massive difference, you know. And the reason why it's so important to do this now is because, you know, we're gonna get a little bit more in depth here, but I'm going to explain it because it will resonate with a lot of people. So the human race is the only race that can facilitate both light and shadow in its cells, which is pretty impressive, really. Like, everything else is either light or shadow. We can do both. So the purpose and the reason we're here as humans, having the human experience, is to experience duality, is to experience light and shadow and work out how it works in yin and yang, you know. So therefore, Mother Earth, the contract of Mother Earth was to support duality. But the Earth is evolving as well as we are. So she actually released the contract that she had, Mother Earth's contract to support duality. It's just come through in like the last year or two that it's completely gone now, and she's on her own evolutionary path. So she no longer supports this light and shadow. She's going more into the light. So the souls that are coming through, what we're being brought, what's coming through now is here ready for the lighter you know, evolutionary phases that we're going through as a planet and stuff. But you can't carry that shadow into the new age. It's just not working. That's why people are in such massive conflict at the moment. That's why people are losing their shit. That's why, you know, things are just getting worse for a lot of people, because that shadow cannot keep sitting in the cells. It needs to be released. We need the upgrade. We need the clearing. And this is what this process does on a very, very, very large scale. And it's just beautiful, because you're not only getting that energetic clearing, you know, you're going in and unpacking all your problems, you know, you're creating new beliefs, you know, and you're in a beautiful trance as it happens. You have to experience it. You really need to experience it, because it is just so life-changing. And have a look through this page, have a look through the testimonials, the reviews. Now, because a lot of the big profound stuff has actually happened to family members, a lot of my people that really want to leave a beautiful testimonial and make it public, they won't, because the mother doesn't know that this process has happened. Or, you know, it's one thing to share your own results, but sharing like someone else's results, the clients are like, oh, I want to, but I don't want my mum to see this. I don't want her to see that she used to be a bitch, you know. So but yeah, you've got to experience it. It's incredibly involved. There are a lot of really talented practitioners. I do trainings every month, so that's just growing more and more and more. So have a look through the page. You'll see the testimonials of practitioners that I'm putting up. You'll see the reviews of the practitioners. Go through, just check them out. Work with whoever you feel drawn to work with. I do one-on-one sessions, especially if you want to be trained in it. If you want to be trained in this, you need to go through the process first. Because when I first started doing the training, I wasn't taking people through the process first. And then everyone came in having not been cleared first. And here I am trying to hold space for like 10, I'll keep the numbers down to like 8, 10, trying to hold space for 10 people's whole lineages of crap that hadn't been cleared yet. So it was a bit intense. So now you guys have to go through the process first. Make sure you're aligned with the work, experience it properly, get clear properly, so that when I do the training, everyone's already cleared, so that we don't have any kind of mishaps of having too much yucky energy in the room trying to play around with things. But this process is incredibly supported by spirit as well. We use a lot of it's very earthen work. You know, we're using Mother Earth to transmute this energy. We're using the Devic community to transmute this energy. We're using so many different guides, guardians, angels, archangels, galactic energies. Everybody has just jumped in to say, let's do this. It's so easy. Like, I've been doing entity removals and big heavy juju removals for like 15 years. And this is just easy. It's just so easy because of the way that it's written and because of the invitation and the spiritual support behind it. So if you are interested in knowing more information, personally, I charge $220 for a session in this. Some of my practitioners may charge less, or they may charge more. I don't know. It is a 2-hour process. Some people might do it in less time, but I have a tendency to really get into it with people with things. So some of my practitioners probably do it in about an hour and a half. So go and have a look, see who you want to work with. If you're interested in training, let me know. It is a 2-day training event. What we do first is you learn Timeline Reset by the amazing Emma Romano, because that is a whole day of just working in the unconscious mind, getting very, very comfortable with talking to a client in trance, because that's where huge transformational work occurs. The first stage, the removal, the healing, that's something in itself. But the transformational work in the unconscious mind is where you really just take your clients next level. So you need to be really well practiced at that. So the first day, Timeline Reset, taught by Emma, you learn how to remove all negative emotions, limiting beliefs. You go through all these changes yourself. You go through this process again and again and again. So it's a massive day of transformation for you as well. And then the next day, I teach the DNA. I give you the script. I break it all down. I explain to you Like there's some stuff in there that, like the word separation, for example, in the removal, when you're saying separation because you're using the intent, when you're removing that separation, oppression, suppression, and repression is that little section of it, you're removing the separation between mankind. You are removing the separation that we feel between the oneness and unity of life. You are removing the separation between family members. You are removing such huge stuff with one word. But I really drill into my practitioners to understand exactly what it is that they're saying, because the more that they understand what they're doing in the removal, the stronger the removal is. So it is a really long day of training. And yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. So all up, the training is $888. That includes your one-on-one session. So it's like $220 for the session, and then $335 for the 2 days each. So it's a double certification. You get certified as a DNA practitioner, and you also get certified as a timeline reset practitioner. So if you're interested in learning more information, just give me a buzz. I do limit the numbers just because I want to make sure that everyone's really getting it. I would rather just do lots of smaller groups to really make sure I can keep an eye on everyone, make sure everyone's really getting it, rather than doing a big one group at a time. That, and it's such big energy to hold. So, you know, maybe down the track we might extend it to be a bigger audience. But yeah, it's just powerful. So I could talk all day about this, and it's just, I love it. So if you're interested in learning more, just give us a buzz, hit me up, hit some of the practitioners up. The busier I get, I'm about to start traveling Australia teaching. So if I'm available, great. If I'm not, my practitioners are amazing. They are getting such good results. They're adding their own flair to it. It's beautiful to watch. So look forward to hearing from you soon, or seeing a review come in for one of the other practitioners. And you know what? It's time to heal the world faster. It's time to clear this stuff for our future generations, because, you know, the kids aren't getting it easier. It's getting harder for them. It really is. So anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll hopefully see you soon. Bye.